Gather round, it's story time. ComixDad's got the latest on the line. From panels to pixels, we'll explore the world of comics and so much more. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene. We'll dive into pop culture, what's hot, what's not, entertainment, buzz, the latest plot, content creation, how we make it pop. Sit back, relax, let's talk shop. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene. Whether it's manga, movies, or memes, we've got the insights, the laughs, and the schemes. So join the chat, let's elevate the conversation, don't hesitate. From classics to new, from indie to mainstream, we'll cover it all like a superhero's dream. Maybe we'll stray talk of other things, but comic love is what gives us wings. Welcome to Talkin Shop, where we never stop discussing heroes, villains, every plot twist we've got. From ink to screen and all in between. With ComixDad and friends, it's the scene.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am ComixDad, and welcome to Talkin Shop. Before I say hello, before we get into anything whatsoever, introducing my awesome guest tonight or any of that, I do just want to take just a moment or two. There's a lot of stuff that's been going on the last few days and the last few weeks. And any of you that watch the show regularly know kind of pretty much where I stand on a lot of stuff in terms of culture, social issues, politics, all that stuff. But I just want to, if you guys mind bearing with me for a minute or two, I just want to say a quick prayer for not just for Charlie Kirk and his family, but for everybody else that has been experiencing a bunch of senseless nonsense and violence in the name of politics and ideologies and all that stuff, because enough is enough. And I'll wax a little more poetic probably on a stream this weekend, or maybe just at the beginning or the end of the poll list on Sunday. But I just, if you guys, like I said, don't mind, if you want, you can join me. If you don't want to join me, if you want to mute me for like about 90 seconds, that's fine too. But I'm just gonna say a quick prayer for just everything that's going on. So, Lord Jesus, thank you so much for our health and our happiness and our families and your love. We're coming to you tonight to not just have a great show tonight, but to also ask you to keep Charlie Kirk as your wonderful servant in peace and happiness in heaven with you now, as well as keeping his wife, his children, his family, his friends, everybody that knew him under your protection. And just please to show us all your love now in one of the darkest times we're living in recent memory. And just ask that you look out for all of us, remind us all, and remind people that are, and show people that may not know what your love is, that love for the first time possibly, and help them just realize that all this that's been going on, it all needs to stop. At the end of the day, we are all your children. We are all people. There is no need for mindless bloodshed that like we've been seeing. Uh, Please, Lord, just show us the way. Show others the way. We trust in you. You provide for us. We as your children love you with all of our hearts, unconditionally, as you do for us. It's in your name we pray. Amen. Thank you so much, everybody, for bearing with me for that. For just in case anybody that's not religious or has faith or out there, I at least appreciate you just hanging out while I did that real quick. It was just something that I felt I needed to do, because it's yeah, things are rough out there right now, man. Um, but we also can't be we can't just be quiet. We have to very the time for being quiet and just looking the other way is over. I'm not saying go out and actually do anything. I'm not saying go out there and confront people, but don't be silent anymore. Call out the wrongs, engage in conversation with people, engage in open debate with people with conflicting opinions if they're willing to. But if not, call the balls and strikes like I do. That's all you really can. Just don't be silent. Don't keep your mouth shut, because that is the last thing that we need to have. That needs to happen. So anyway, thank you so much for that. That's all. That part's over. Welcome again to Talkin' Shop. I'm ComixDad. And for anybody who's new here to the channel or new here to the show, this is a show where I have various guests on, whether it be content creators, people involved in the comic books industry. We even had a former amateur wrestler and wrestling promoter on at one point. That was awesome. But I just have them on. We talk comics and we talk their shop, which is whatever it is that they're into and that they're doing or they're known for. And we just have a good time. So let me say quick hello to everybody in the chat, and then we'll introduce our my guest tonight. So Error of Fate is here, says, hello, fellow humans. I will probably be late. Goodbye, fellow humans. Yeah, Error of Fate, that's par for the course. I appreciate you. I appreciate you hopping in. Donna Hall says, I will be lurking and driving. Donna Hall, thank you so much for hopping in. I hope you're doing well, and thank you for lurking, and be safe on the road. Caffeinated Wolf. I wonder why he's in the chat here. Says hail Caffeinated Wolf. And Queen Comics Wife, of course. The wife is here. Everybody go check out Queen Comics Wife on her channels over on YouTube and on Rumble as well. She's awesome. She is a lot more, I guess, tame and loving and lighthearted and kind-hearted than I am. I'm lighthearted, but she's more kind-hearted than I am. I'm a little rough around the edges, I know, but go check her out on her channels. Davyverse is here. Hello. What's going on, Davyverse, from across the pond, brother? And Igor Teixeira is here. Says, hello, everyone. What's going on, Igor? How are you, man? And also, ladies and gentlemen, this gentleman right here, he will be on Talkin' Shop as well in the near future. I believe it's November he'll be on, is what I have slated, I think. But I have to double check. But he will also be joining us, and it's coincident, and it's not a coincidence that he's here in the chat. Igor Teixeira, artist of the Rippaverse, because our guest tonight is the man himself, the lead editor and the creative manager for the Rippaverse, also creator of one of the possibly new characters for the Rippaverse. We'll see how well he's received in Rippazine number 5. We're also this man is also known as a man of secrets, as he carries a lot of NDAs with him wherever he goes. Hands them out like they're candy. But ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the channel, to the show, Andrew Rodriguez, Ed Andrew, as he's also known as.
Thank you for having me, man. It's great to be here.
You're welcome. And I forgot to hit this before I got you onto the scene, so hold on. Get on with it.
That's great.
I missed somebody. Jonas J. Campbell in the chat says, I made a joke.
Jonas.
I made a joke about myself saying him. It was interpreted as me saying a bit about Andrew. So I'm here to fully apologize. No, we're not.
You apologize for nothing, Jonas.
We're not taking any apologies, and we're not giving any either. And then Jonas goes, but also
he says it anyway.
Him.
Yeah, that's fun. No, that's par for the course. That's Jonas.
Well, Jonas, hello there. But Andrew, how are you, man? Welcome to the channel.
I'm doing pretty great, man. Thanks for having me.
Oh, dude, the pleasure is all mine. Thank you for joining me. I'm excited. And I guess we'll just hop right into it. Because I think pretty much everybody's watching. Everybody that'll go back and watch this probably knows who you are already. You are.
I'm not that well known.
You're like I said in my introduction of you. You are the man with all the secrets. You are the ND Andrew. You are you pop those things like they're Tic Tacs, brother.
I keep them around, one or two.
What's this, Quick Comics? Like what? Did you see my question? Can I borrow one of your travel mugs? Yes, go ahead, borrow a travel mug. She'll do this on the stream. She'll just go blow up the chat. She's like, hey, I need something. I have a question. Like, text me. Come out of the room. Don't be shy.
I was about to say, I feel like there are a million other ways you could probably get a quicker answer.
I do the same thing to her. The only difference is I'm at work when I do it.
Well, there's that. Fair enough.
But anyway, so Andrew, I guess let's just get right into a man with comics. So what is fair enough? Fair enough. It is a good way.
We do harass Eric on his live streams. It is true.
The difference is there's so few people in my chat that I have to notice every single person that is like screaming at me. Eric at least has the excuse of like, oh well, I didn't see it, there were so many names scrolling by, sorry.
He sees it, whether he chooses to acknowledge it or ignore it is a different matter entirely.
Fair enough. But so yeah, man, I mean, you're involved in comics. I'm ComixDad, so let's talk some comics.
Let's talk comics.
I guess my first thing for you is, like I asked everybody, what is either your earliest memory of comics, or what's the thing that got you into comics?
So that's kind of a two-parter. The first comic books that I ever owned were the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comics. So I used to get those if I was good at the grocery store with my mom and my dad when I was like 6 or 7 years old, something like that. I would get to pick one or two of those off of the shelf back when comic books were still in grocery stores. So I got those. That was my like actual start for comic books. But if we're talking more mainstream, like superhero stuff, when I was maybe 10, I want to say 10, 11, my dad and I were at a yard sale in our neighborhood, and they were having the yard sale because like the older son was moving away to college, and so they were selling off a bunch of his crap. And long story short, there were a couple of comic books on one of the tables outside, and my dad grabbed them for me, and they were Superman, the Man of Steel #0, and The Flash #0. Now, these are not those original copies I had. Those are in storage.
Okay.
They're not in nearly as good condition as these are. They weren't when I got them. And these are signed by the writers. So signed
very nice.
By Louise Simonson and Mark Waid, respectively. And those are my first superhero comics.
I was gonna say that's a name right now, Mark Waid.
It's a name, and when he is not on social media, he is a really great superhero writer.
Oh,
when he's
for
on
sure.
social media, he is an insufferable psychopath.
Yeah.
Who should not be on social media. That's all I'll say about that.
No, that's fair. That's fair. And it's one of those things where I've actually told Queen Comics Wife this with a particular actor that she likes his portrayal of a certain character on a TV show she likes. And I need to start living by this myself, or else I'd be a hypocrite. We gotta sometimes, not all the time, sometimes learn to separate the artist from the art. And just be able to appreciate the work that they do and not the things that they say when they're not working.
Yeah.
So it's at all respect to Mark Waid in that aspect. So
as just a comic book writer, not as a person, not as who he acts and how he acts on social media, he is an incredible comic book writer.
Oh yeah, he's the bee's knees. He truly is a legend. But so with going to or obviously getting those comics with your dad, and them being at a yard sales, like, did that kind of turn into like, was it just the what's the words I'm looking for? Sorry. Was that just the inception of the initiation, I should say, into your comic book journey? Or did that also kind of spawn something like between you and your father in terms of, did comics become a thing with maybe your father and you after that, like a bonding moment, or maybe just yard sales in general, or just like, because it's always cool when the parents get involved in that initial journey or initial aha moment of like, oh, I found something I really love.
Yeah, so again, that's kind of a two-parter as well. Comic books were already kind of a thing for me and my dad, just not with like superhero comics. So like I said, I was getting the Archie Sonic the Hedgehog comics, which I have every single one of the Archie comics, including all the spin-offs. I also have all of the Fleetway Sonic the Hedgehog comics that predated
Okay.
those. And I haven't been buying the single issues in a long time, but I've been getting the omnibus large hardcover volumes for the IDW ones. I'm a big Sonic the Hedgehog fan,
Yeah,
if you couldn't tell.
no, it's, and you know
And
what?
it's part of what inspired the character I created.
And if my older one were here on the stream, she would probably look at you in a fit of jealousy, because not as much anymore, but she not too long ago was like a super big Sonic head, and so that I'm sure I'm sure she probably would be able to appreciate that.
Excellent. That makes me happy to hear. That makes me super happy to hear. But with regards to the Sonic comics, my dad and I would at night, a couple times a week, sit on the floor in my room and draw things out of the comics. So we would pull up sheets of paper and try and draw and copy the action scenes and whatever that was going on in the comics. And so that was a bonding thing over comics for us specifically. And so I already had this love for comics, and I had this connection with comics with my dad. However, it was these two books that really sparked that love for superhero comics specifically. And these wound up being my gateway drug. And then I wound up becoming a gigantic fan of The Flash and Superman, and Spider-Man and X-Men followed not long after in terms of the comics. I was already a fan of those characters because I grew up watching the 90s animated series. So I was already watching the 90s animated series for Spider-Man, X-Men. I was watching Batman. I was watching Superman. I was watching Justice League. And then when Justice League Unlimited and Batman Beyond and all those started coming along, I was watching those as well. So I was already a fan of these characters and these worlds, but those two comics were what were my gateway drug into diving into the actual source material.
Okay.
And becoming a lifelong fan in that regard.
Yeah, those animated shows of all the 90s, I feel like that was a big jumping on point for a lot of people in our generation.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
and
that was like you said, kind of the gateway.
And it was the perfect time for it too, because those shows, even though they weren't one-to-one, they did take some liberties with the source material to make it work in a condensed environment, and an animated environment where you had 20 some odd minutes to tell a story, right? Because they got to add 8 minutes of commercials in order to make their money.
Yeah, even back then.
Yeah,
jeez,
even back then. Absolutely.
We're old.
Man, it's rough. It's rough, man. My birthday's actually Monday, so I'm just like, what am I turning again?
Well,
I don't even remember anymore.
Hold on one second then. In that case, happy birthday, my guy.
Oh, well, thank you, man. That's also, cool, man. Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And also, here's to getting another year older, which we all can sympathize with.
Feels bad, man.
Real bad. But we make the most of it.
I roll out of bed and I'm like, ow, what did I do? All I did was get up out of bed. That's all I did.
But
what the heck?
But yeah, man. And it's normally I would have like one or two things out of my collection to show off, because like, as my guests do show and tell, I feel it's only proper I do myself, but I did not grab any, and my green screen corners me into for shame indeed. Shame ComixDad. And my green screen traps me in the corner here, but
tourist.
Yes. But typically what I end up pulling out more often than not issues of Amazing Spider-Man, because kind of like you, my foray into at least the superhero world. Well, I mean, I guess comics in general for the most part, especially superheroes, was, like you said, the Spider-Man animated series. And so that just kicked off a borderline obsession with Peter Parker and with Spider-Man. And so over the years, as I have come and gone in and out of comic collecting, because that stuff's expensive.
It does get as somebody who still frequents their LCS every single Wednesday on my way home from the office. I can confirm it does. There are some weeks where I'm like, oh, I only had like 7 books this week, and then there are other weeks where it's like, wow, counting variants, I'm at like 14 books.
Yeah,
that sucks.
Yeah, it's there's your paycheck. God, poof. But I have, it's my goal to acquire as much of Volume One of Amazing Spider-Man as possible. So from,
Mm.
granted, Amazing Fantasy 15 and Amazing Spider-Man 1 will never ever happen, and I'm fully aware of that. But I have facsimile editions, so I'm counting
Well,
it.
not with that attitude.
All right. Well, unless Eric wants to bring me on as like co-owner and
Go.
co-creator, yeah, I've got to jump straight to the top if I want to be able to afford those books. but no, but I have facsimile editions, so they count. But yeah, I think I have to date from issue 1 to 417. I think that's where Volume 1
Well,
ended.
hot dog. That's pretty good.
But no, I'm saying between that range, I have about, I want to say 100, and last count was I think 180 some odd issues.
Okay,
We're
but almost
creeping up.
50%.
Yeah, we're creeping up on 200.
Almost 50% of those first 400 issues. That is still impressive.
Yeah, I try. Queen Comics wife, God bless her, is just goes, oh, his local comic shop, fancy. And then Queen Comics Life says, I better get to my Dracula's first, damn it. Yeah, Queen Comics Life, she has her collection is she's a big fan of classic movie monsters and like the classic Universal monsters. So
Yep,
she has out of all 70 issues of Tube of Dracula, she is literally missing only the big two, number 1 and number 10.
Oh wow.
Which 10 for anybody,
that's a pretty complete collection besides those two.
Oh yeah, and 10 for anybody who's not aware, issue 10 of Tomb of Dracula is the very first appearance of Blade in comic books ever.
Yep.
So, yeah, those are the only two she's missing out of that her collection is complete. Mine is much lengthier. So I have a lot more work to do. But no, it's comic collecting is just fun, man. It's fun, exciting. It is. It's part of it is about the chase and the thrill of the chase. It really is. But
absolutely.
You got to temper yourself too, or else you'll end up living in a cardboard. You'll end up living in the long box that you keep your collection in.
No joke, man. August was rough because, well, actually, just this summer in general. Because, and I don't mean rough as in I wound up being like strapped or anything from it, but man, like J. Scott Campbell, I swear he was trying to make me bankrupt because he's one of my all-time favorite artists, and I pretty frequently will order like his special signed edition comics off of his website when he drops some that are exclusive. Because I mean I love his work and I love his stuff, and so I end up doing that pretty frequently. But like this summer he had like 3 or 4 different collections, all of which I wanted, and then on top of that, like the entire month of August he released almost 30 covers that were thankfully
30 covers in August.
Almost 30 covers in August. Yes,
that man
has multiple covers every week. Yeah, and that's, you know, God bless him for, you know, making his money. And then he had a ton that he released through the month of August for a bunch of different Marvel comics. And thankfully I was able to have restraint. And I only bought the ones that I actually really wanted. Like if it was a book that I was already reading, then that was a done deal. Like I was automatically going to grab that. If it was a cover for a book that I wasn't already reading, then I was like, okay, is the cover a character that I actually really, really like? And if it was, I'd pull the trigger on it. If it wasn't, I was like, I'm good.
Yeah, me and variant covers, we have a history. Some good, some bad. But I do, that is kind of one of my, I guess one of my pet peeves with modern day comics is like not the fact that variants exist, because the artwork is awesome on a lot of them. It's just, I think it's just the fact that there are so many out there that like it kind of dilutes the significance of going out and just getting a regular cover A of something, especially if it's something iconic in terms of recent comic book history that, for all we know, may go on to be a really epic series or an epic run in about 30 years from now. So that's like my one of my few gripes with modern day comics as a whole. It's just like, give me like 1, maybe 2 variants. I'll be okay with that. I don't need like 15.
I don't mind when there are more kind of key issues, like if it's a number 1 or if it's the last issue of an arc or whatever. Maybe there's, you know, or it's a specific milestone, like it's issue 25 or it's issue 50 or whatever, right? Like you want to do multiple variants, cool. Where I have an issue with the industry when it comes to variants specifically is the incentive variants. So the variants where you get if shops order, we'll say, and there are a ton of different ones. So there are 1 in 25s, and so what that means is that a shop will have to order 25 of the cover A in order to get one copy of that specific variant. And
Yeah.
the result of that is that in order to make their money back, because the shop probably didn't actually want to order 25 copies of that cover A, and so to make up for that, they have to charge a pretty exorbitant amount usually for that variant, right?
Yeah.
Sometimes it's upwards of, 50, 60, even upwards of $100 sometimes, depending on what the treatment for the cover is.
Yeah,
that's predatory in my opinion, and I think that's not cool.
I think it's more predatory on the distributors and the publishers than it is the comic book shops.
Yeah, no, like I said,
fair enough. Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's not the shop's fault. It's not the shop's fault for that.
No,
I don't blame them for wanting to try and make their money back.
Yeah, and I think it's comic practice at this point, where like 9 out of 10 shops you walk into, they'll just charge however much the ratio for the variant is. Like the 1 in 10, they'll charge $10. The 1 in 50, they'll charge $50, and so on and so forth. I will say that I am guilty of getting a couple of those ratio variants.
I'll get them sometimes, but it has to be something that I can really justify, because it's either a book or a character that I love, or it's a specific artist that I love.
Exactly.
I'll do that.
Exactly. Like, for example, I have one coming up for Transformers number 25 next month, actually. It is, I think it's, I forget if it's the 1 in 25 or it's the 1 in 50, but it's got my favorite Autobot on it. It's got Jazz on it. Okay. And so we haven't gotten anything that's heavily featured Jazz. The only thing that I can at least recall seeing is Energon Universe Special 2025, where we get Jazz on like a small part of the cover of that, but it wasn't a proper Transformers issue. So I'm really excited about that. But let's hop into the chat a little bit, because I see a couple things going on there. First and foremost, Daramuth on Rumble with a $2 Rumble rant says, "What up, ComixDad?" What up, Daramuth? How are you, brother? Good to see you, man. Everybody go check out Daramuth over on YouTube and on Rumble. He's a great guy that just likes having conversations with people. And Daramuth, this is for you, brother. Thank you so much, man. Got to do the Bully Maguire for the people.
Bully Maguire, indeed.
So, and just while we're on this conversation of variant covers, I did realize I had a couple of small stack of books within reach. So I actually ended up grabbing Spider-Man and Wolverine #1. It's actually Tyler Kirkham's variant cover that he specifically did for Unknown Comics. So the green screen effect is going to kind of ruin it a little bit, but for the most part, more or less, I love.
Yeah, I can see it. Yeah, I've seen that cover. It's pretty good cover.
Tyler Kirkham is a really good cover artist. I will have to say, though, in terms of my favorite artists, at least working in mainstream right now, because there's a lot of great artists working in indie, much like somebody who's in the chat right now, Igor Teixeira of the Rippaverse. But one of my favorite artists in mainstream right now is V. Ken Marion.
Oh yeah, I love V. Ken. He and I chat.
Yeah, he's done some cover work for some indie projects that I've backed and supported as well. He also did one, I think, for Death Shroud, which through you guys over at Represent.
He did the interiors for most of Death Shroud. Actually.
Oh, did he? I wasn't aware of that part. I just knew he did the cover.
Have you checked out the Second Chance campaign for his Indiegogo for his book?
Yes, because I don't need to actually, because I have it. So
okay, cool. Yeah. I backed the Kickstarter, and I've got that in my my indie comic crowdfunding short box over there. But that book is beautiful.
Yeah, it's he did a phenomenal job. I don't really write comic reviews for the most part, but that was one of those where like I had to take to my X account and just write a little something at least, because it was such a nice breath of fresh air. Yeah. Especially from somebody who's never written one before. Like, that was the biggest thing that blew my mind. Like, I know he co-wrote, but still, I was like, this dude's never written a comic? Are you sure?
Yeah, but didn't read like it.
No, not at all. Let me get through the rest of the chat here, and then we'll move on to our next segment. Comic X Books over on X says, I completed Wolverine Volume 1 and 2, around 206 books.
Oh, excellent.
That is quite a haul there, my man.
Congrats to you.
Yeah, that is impressive. Good for you. Hey, Levishos here says, like the stream, it's super absorbent. Yes, super absorbent comics.
Absorbent.
That's what I'm known as.
That's the word I'd use.
Jonas said, like Blue Shift.
Jonas.
Bad Toby Maguire is good. Yes, indeed. Brimsos here says, ND Andrew, what's it like being the NDA police for the Saskas?
Yeah, I responded to him in the chat. It's hair graying is what it is.
Ah, there it is.
I'm not convinced I'd be a silver fox. I'll be glad to keep my hair as long as I can. But yeah, they're determined to give me gray hair.
Well, you could be me, my guy. Like it's going.
I'll keep mine as long as I can.
It's definitely going. And then Bats is in the chat. What's going on, Bats? Says, Ayo. What's up, Bats? But yeah, man. So we've been talking comics, and we're going to keep talking comics, but we're going to talk comics that you now are actually able to get your hands on and get involved with. We're talking Rippaverse comics. So I guess we'll start with kind of what your role is there. I mean, I know I have it in the title of the stream and on the thumbnail, but like just from the horse's mouth, kind of what is your role there? And then we'll go backwards. We'll retroactively go back into like how you got involved with Eric.
We'll Tarantino it. That's what.
Yeah.
Okay.
A little bit of Tarantino before the craziness.
Okay. Well, I don't know if there was a before. But
fair.
That's all right. That's all right. I'm okay with it. Yeah, so I am the social media manager and one of our lead editors, and I am also our creative manager, creative director, whatever terminology you want to use for the Rippaverse. So essentially, that means I wear a lot of hats, actually. So one of the hats that I wear is managing our social media, which is something I've been doing for Eric actually for longer than the Rippaverse has been a thing. A lot. When I say a lot, I'd probably say 99.8% of the posts that you see from any of our social media accounts, whether that's X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, those are all from me. YouTube, I'll sometimes handle like uploading videos, titling videos, just, throwing in descriptions, things like that. But for the most part, Eric or our video asset manager, Jordan, handles that. On the editing side, I handle a lot of the copy editing on scripts. So making sure kind of basic stuff is taken care of, your punctuation, your grammar, your spelling, things like that. But though I am now recently moving into far more of a story editing position as well. So I'm having a lot more input as just to make sure like, hey, let's make sure all this stuff like lines up with what came before, with other things that are going on in our other books, because something that we pride ourselves on, or at least try to adhere to as best we can, is canon and continuity. Canonicity is something that, and continuity is something that the mainstream has kind of thrown out the window for a while now. They don't seem to care that much about it. They'll retcon things every 6 months. It seems they'll build up. They'll spend a whole 6 months building up to this big crossover event and put most of the focus of their individual titles on this big crossover event. And then the crossover event happens, and then we forget about it 2 issues later.
Preach.
And it's kind of mind-boggling. It's like, so why did we even bother doing the event? Like, you sacrificed the storytelling in the individual books that I did give a crap about, and it was all to prop up this event that doesn't matter 5 minutes later. What the heck is that? We're not about that at the Rippaverse. And so one of my jobs with our books when I'm looking over scripts is to make sure that those things align.
If I may just real quickly, the other cardinal sin they've been committing with that as well is the event will just go away and be forgotten about, or they'll build up all this momentum and then new number one.
Yep.
And that's the other thing that kills me so much. I'm sorry, I just had to get that in there because the new number one, how many number ones we get of all these titles over the last several years has been nauseating and head spinning. But carry on. I apologize.
No, you're good. You're good. I was laughing and chuckling because I saw some of my friends trolling me a little bit in the chat.
We'll be getting to that. I'm seeing them.
I'll address y'all. I'll address y'all. Don't you worry. You're not going to get away with that. But then as creative manager, I get to herd cats and I get to chase down writers and artists and manage our video team, which thankfully Jordan has stepped up and most of that gets delegated to her. I'll still make requests. I'll ask for graphics. I'll ask for a specific direction if I have input on a given video, whether it's a trailer or whether it's just one of our other videos that we'll release on the channels. I'll give that input. But for the most part, I try to make sure she's empowered to do what she's like really, really good at and not like get in her way or step on her feet, which she wouldn't feel anyway, and she'd laugh at that joke. Um, but I love being a creative manager because I love being surrounded by creative people.
That is a good one, I will
Yeah.
say. I get the joke, and it's a good one. I'm glad that she takes it in stride.
Oh, absolutely. She can't really take it in stride.
I set that one up.
But Jordan's wonderful. She's fantastic, and her dog is cute as heck. So yeah, being a creative manager, man, I get to be surrounded by super talented people every single day, which is an immense blessing. And I have a philosophy that I try to hold to. I don't like ever being the smartest or most talented person in the room, which thankfully I don't ever have to worry about either because I'm never.
You sell yourself short on that one, because I do hear from a little birdie that was on the channel about maybe 3 months ago or so, that there is a pad that you keep or a book that you keep that people seem to rummage through once in a while and go, Andrew, what are you talking about? These are wonderful.
I don't know what they're talking about. I won't acknowledge that at all. But what I mean by that is, if you are surrounded by people who are smarter than you and who are more talented than you, then you have something to gain. You can learn from them. You can grow as a person. And that can be applied to a million things. Maybe this person is better than you at organization. Maybe this person is better than you at leadership. Maybe this person is better than you at drawing, or, whatever. It could be something, related to video production. Whatever it is, you have something to gain from those people. And I want to make sure that I'm clear that I don't view people as just like assets to gain things from, but I think it's important to surround yourself with people who help uplift you, and that you inevitably have something that maybe they can gain from as well. And so everybody's uplifted in that way, and everybody can learn something from each other.
For
Because
sure.
I think that that's a way to kind of move forward in society in a positive way, if we're always learning something from each other. And I think that's something actually wonderful.
Yeah, the way that I like to look at it is you to at least have a couple of people that challenge you sometimes in a good way, whether it's intellectually, philosophically, artistically, athletically, whatever, because it gives you something to strive for, whether it's strive for maybe some more understanding, or strive for developing and honing a skill, striving for just trying to do your best in terms of getting that next payday or that promotion or something like that. Strive for just being a better son, brother, daughter, mother, a husband, wife, etc., what have you. So definitely, I love that that's your approach to things, because being the smartest person in the room, being the most talented person in the room, that's all well and good, but at the end of the day, if you're not challenged, you may slip, and you may not always be that smartest person in the room. You may not always be that most talented person in the room, and that's okay, because then it gives you something to strive for once more.
It ensures you remain in a place of humility as well.
Absolutely.
Because the moment whether you actually are or not, the moment you think you're the smartest person in the room, and the moment you think you're the most talented person in the room, that's when ego takes over. That's when pride takes over. And those are dangerous. That's like, pride that's as Luciferian as it gets. You don't want to go down that path. You don't want to think that you're the bee's knees and your stuff don't stink. It is better to be surrounded by people who are your superior in some facet or another, so that you can always remain in a place where you recognize and acknowledge that you still have room to grow.
Absolutely.
And that's how you stay in a place of humility.
The one exception will be when I claim the title of biggest, most unprofessional retard on YouTube and Rumble. The biggest,
I'm sure somebody will beat you to it.
Supervisor of the best shit show on YouTube and Rumble as well.
There's always a bigger fish, man. There's always a bigger fish.
But no, I 100% agree with everything you just said, man. And yeah, it's especially with I have been fortunate enough where I actually over the last several years have been in a couple of positions of management and of leadership, and I always, especially if I'm the new guy coming in as opposed to the employees, in those first couple of months, and sometimes even that first year, I'm making
Mhm.
sure that I am around them because they're the ones that know more than I do for that first little
Yeah,
bit. I have to make sure I'm learning from them so this way I can then learn how to help lead them and direct them properly. Whether it's just in terms of how they go about physically doing something or the knowledge that they have for whatever process or whatever aspect of the business is at
they
hand.
might have a more efficient way of doing a particular task.
Exactly.
That isn't something that's necessarily by the book, but it is still correct. It's
Mhm.
not like completely circumventing the book. It's like, okay, these are the guidelines, but this is a more efficient way of doing it and still getting good results. Not like that's different than a shortcut.
Oh, for sure. And you learn and you grow from that as a leader and as a just as a general person as well. It helps you with thinking outside the box. But
Absolutely.
we could wax poetic about this topic in
I
particular all
was in
night.
retail management for a decade and a half, man. Like I could talk about that crap
Oh
much longer
man,
than I'd like to.
retail management. That's like the one type of management that I'm just gonna like completely distance myself from.
You should. You should absolutely distance yourself from
Because
it.
I
Do
just
not
feel
ever
like
do it.
it's yeah. I feel I've heard stories. I feel like that's like the most soul crushing type of management. I
That's
feel for
exactly
you,
what it
man.
is. It's exactly what it is.
So
Thank God for the Rippaverse because that allowed me to get away from it.
and actually, that segue and look at that. It's almost like I planned it because I did because I'm the best. But that actually segues me into kind of, I guess, your involvement with Eric. How'd you hook up with Eric July and get involved with the Rippaverse? As you mentioned, actually, you kind of were already connected with him before the Rippaverse even became a thing. So if you don't mind sharing just what you can of that, feel free
Yeah.
to enlighten us all
I
about the
don't know how much
beginnings of ND Andrew.
I don't know how much enlightenment I can offer, but I can at least tell the story well enough, I guess. Um, yeah, so my beginnings with Eric were say 2017, 2018. I was just coming back into mainstream comics. Um, for the first time in a handful of years because I wasn't in a position to be able to like read comics regularly, and so I was getting back into it, and I was kind of like scratching my head at some of the stuff I was reading, and I was like, man, did this like hobby pass me by? Am I old now? Am I dumb? Am I crazy? What's going on? Because there was just a lot of decisions being made at both DC and Marvel where I was just like really baffled by. It was very strange decision making to me.
Yes.
And I was like, I can't be the only person thinking this, right? And so I, for just about the first time in my life, hopped onto YouTube and started looking up like, okay, what are people saying about comic books? And the first channel that I came across actually was Eric's channel, Young Rippa 59, and he was doing comic book reviews. And I
Okay.
read some of his reviews. I was like, okay, he's saying some of those. He's talking about books that I'm not reading right now, but he's saying some good things about these books and then not so good things about these other books over here. All right. So he seems like he's fairly even keeled and kind of plays it straight down the middle. All right, fair enough. And then he caught one of his live streams and he was talking a little more in depth about the stuff that he was seeing in the comic book industry, both some of the good and a lot of the bad. And I was like, okay, so I'm not crazy. Either that or I'm crazy, but at least I'm not alone. Right. And so I was like, all right, I can get down with this guy. I'm cool with this guy. And so I just kind of, for the next few years, just watched his stuff regularly. I was in his chats when he live streamed. I'd check out his videos, even some of his stuff that was maybe more cultural or political commentary or whatever. Like he talked about all sorts of stuff. I think the only stuff I didn't watch of his was sports related because I just wasn't interested.
Fair
Um,
enough.
but aside from that, I watched most of his content, and around 20, was it 2020? No, it wasn't 2022. 2022 is when we launched the Rippaverse. So in 2021, at some point, I want to say it was sometime in the summer. Um, he was doing a live stream and he was talking about how he was, revamping his website and preparing for this big thing that he was gonna be doing. The big thing that he was referring to was the Rippaverse. Um, and I wound up just kind of sending him a DM and being like, "Hey, man, like I don't know exactly what you're looking for your website or what all the stuff you have going on. But, if there's anything that I can do to help out, I'll consider my name thrown in the hat. Because I'd love to be a part of it. I'd love to help out and be a part of something, right? That's bigger than myself.
It-
And he said, I'll let me ponder that. Let me think about that. I gave him like these are some of my skills. These are some of the things that I can do. And he wound up getting back to me a handful of months later, and I was actually at work when he did, and he no, I was live streaming. That's what it was. I was streaming Cyberpunk. I was streaming Cyberpunk over on Twitch, and he DM'd me. He's like, "Hey man, I know you're live, but like, hit me up when you're done." And I hit him up, and he was like, I could use somebody who like does content curation for my YouTube. So like making sure like all of his content was squared away, making sure titles were good, working with his guy that was doing the video editing at the time and the like thumbnail creation and all that, as
So
well as social media management.
so more or less, you kind of sort of stepped into like a producer role for him in a sense. It
Kinda.
sounds like.
Yeah,
Okay.
kinda.
Yeah, and it's funny that you say that it was like you stumbled across him on YouTube, and then from there it all kind of snowballed, because that's more or less. I'm not going to say point for point, but it's very very similar to how Caro Brown got her
Yeah,
connection
actually.
with Eric, because I remember
Yeah.
it's almost like I'm having that conversation with her.
Yeah, I
Um,
watched that stream. Yeah, I watched that show.
yeah, I remember you were in the chat for it. It's just it's a little, it's kind of uncanny, a little odd in a good way. That I mean, and obviously he had his channel and people knew of him and everything well before Rippaverse, but it's just funny how like that's kind of a recurring theme, at least in terms of people who are I guess I could say employees of the Rippaverse,
Yeah.
or part of the
No, yeah.
Rippaverse
We're
family.
we're
I
actually like legally and tax wise and all that taxation is theft. All of that, like all of that,
It is.
like
It
we are
is.
we are employees specifically of Rippaverse
Yeah.
Publishing
Yeah.
LLC. So,
And it seems like that's kind of a recurring theme amongst at least a handful of the employees, which is really neat in my opinion. Um, but so with I guess since you were talking about you're getting more into the continuity and the consistency in terms of your the being an editor for storylines and all that. So does pretty much every Rippaverse title go through your hands before it hits the printer?
I do end up looking at this point. So at this point in time, now scripts I will go through and I will be one of the two people that redlines them.
Okay.
um, and makes notes like, "Hey, if this needs to be sent back to the writer for X, Y, and Z, this person's powers don't work like that, or this person can't take a bullet to the face and survive, or whatever, right? Like whatever that looks like, that's part of my job, which I love because I'm a big continuity guy when it comes to comics. Like that's
Mhm.
important to me, and so I want to make sure that we hold ourselves to that standard. And inevitably, there's probably going to be some slip ups that happen. There's probably
Yeah,
going to be some stuff because we're human. And something that
for
people don't
sure.
realize is that no matter how many editors you have, stuff can still get through. And it's not necessarily a knock to whether those people are good editors or not. There's something in editing um, called getting blind. So you can go through a manuscript so many times. The way the incredible human mind works is that it'll start to just fill in blanks because it knows how something should look. It knows how something should read.
Mhm.
And it happens with art too, with art editors.
Oh yeah.
They'll just know how something's supposed to look, and their brain makes it so that it's actually there, even though it isn't. And so sometimes you'll have a typo or a missing comma or a missing period or some punctuation, right?
Mhm.
Or maybe there's something that's incorrect with the art, right? This happens all the time. Every single week when I pick up new books, there's always at least one book that has a typo or two, or there's something where it's like, like
Yep.
colorist, like made a oops there, and it's like I see that and I was like, somebody got blind, and then I move on
Yeah.
because it literally happens. Like I could pull out one of my flash trades right now and pull out. In fact, it was in Jeremy Adams' run, and there are several pages where the colorist colored Wally West's eyes blue. Wally West's eyes are light green. Barry Allen's eyes are blue. And so this is something that I've seen happen over and over again. It just happens in comics, but that's something that I want to try to mitigate down to the absolute minimum, 0 if possible,
For sure.
but mitigate that as much as I possibly can.
Yeah, and it sounds like that concept of being blind, it's as you were explaining it, basically I'm equating it to the equivalent of like muscle memory or tunnel vision. At that point, you're just so used to doing it that like you said, you're doing it, and it's almost, sometimes you get a little robotic with it, just like most things in life that you're just doing constantly and over and over and over again. And no matter how many times you think you do it perfectly, it's bound to, once in a while, a little mistake here and there may happen. That's totally fine. And I've been noticing a lot more recently in just comics in general, that the editors in like I don't even want to say the big two, because the mainstream is more than just the big two at this point. Like, you've got Image as well, which
mainstream is Image and IDW to a slightly lesser extent,
barely at this point.
They're still hanging on.
By I don't know how, but bless them.
Sonic, that's how. And Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
I don't know, man. We can talk about that. We can talk about that in a little bit or another time. I don't know about that. TMNT is barely holding on itself. But no, it's just, but I've been noticing in the mainstream, especially, that like, I don't know if it's just the writers or a combination of the writers and the editors, but like, I'm always noticing punctuation error, missing punctuation, not even improper, just totally just no punctuation. And then I've been catching a lot of just grammatical and spelling errors. It's like, and it like speaks to me like, well, clearly you went to public school. Clearly, which, don't get me wrong, I went to public school too, but I still have to sit here and second guess myself sometimes on things I'm spelling. It's like, clearly, A, you went to public school, and B, you weren't good in public school. That's what it tells me.
Did you make the best of it while you were there? Clearly, some people did not.
Yeah. So, but no, man, it's definitely the editor's job is crucial. And you, sir, have been, by all accounts, and just from, because I haven't read every single Rippaverse title. I've read like 90% of them, but everything that I have read, you've been doing a fantastic job. And everybody knows about the couple of things that have happened. We don't need to harp on them, but like, this shit happens, man. But you guys, when those couple of things did happen, it just, as a whole, as a company, and you guys owned up to it, which is all well and good. And hey, you know what? And you did right by people. Like, so it's, I can't fault anybody for that. Like, you guys are willing to own your mistakes, and that's what everybody should do, to be honest. Like own your mistakes, say, okay, this is my bad, and then you move on. And that's what you guys do. And that's a big part of the reason why I respect Rippaverse Comics and what you guys do. Aside from the fact that you guys are doing some things different, and some things you're just doing better than some aspects of the mainstream as well too. So it's just, Rippaverse is a lot of fun. But yeah, specifically though, the integrity is, and which there are people that are like, oh, that could be out there and might, I doubt they're watching, but people may watch this at some point and be like, oh, what integrity, blah, blah, blah. Oh, shut the fuck up.
There are a lot of sad people out there who just have nothing better to do.
Yeah, you guys,
maybe they should concern themselves with the comic books that they're not receiving in the mail.
Yeah, right. But you guys, at least by my standards, and by my own accounts and observations, you guys have the integrity to do the right things. So kudos to you guys on that, from top to bottom. So now
we're trying to constantly get better.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna hop into the comments real quick, and then we'll talk about the other really awesome thing that you got going on as well. But let's get into the comics first. Jesus. Let's get into the comments worst. I'm a mess, man. I've been waking up at 4:30 for this new job I started about a month
Oh,
ago.
the heck with that.
It's yeah, 4:30 a.m. wake up time. I'm there for 10 plus hours a day. I'm out of the house for about 12 hours a day. I mean,
God bless you, man.
I'm doing what I
couldn't-
got to do, and it's not a terrible job, which is good. So, but still, that wake up time is killing me right now.
That's a brutal wake up time, man. I hope you got some like really, really strong like Death Wish coffee or something.
Oh, dude, I can talk. So Death Wish coffee. We're talking coffee. So Death Wish coffee. I avoid that stuff like the plague. All I did was smell it once, and I got a contact high from it. Basically,
Really?
a buddy of mine. We used to work together. But he had Death Wish coffee, and he's a big coffee guy. He came into work one day, and he had his thermos filled with coffee and everything, and about maybe an hour and a half or so into his day, he all of a sudden just puts his head down on his desk. I'm like, "You good, dude?" He's like, "Yeah, I just have like a massive headache right now." And he's sitting there and just like, "Oh, okay, like is it just the screen or whatever?" Like, no, it's not all that. I have my blue light glasses, but he goes back and thinks about. You can see the wheels turning. He's thinking about something, and he goes, "I'm a fucking idiot." Like, what is it, dude? He's like, I mismeasured the amount of Death Wish I used this morning. I was like, really? He did like it was like 5 times the recommended amount of Death Wish grounds that he put into a cup.
You know, that'll probably do it. I've had Death Wish before, and all it did was like wake me up a little bit faster, but that might just speak to how much caffeine is ingrained in my system. There was a period of time when I was a manager for GameStop where I would have 2 to 3
I'm so sorry.
8 espresso shot drinks every single day.
That was I was close to that at one point, but Death Wish though, I saw like he missed work for about 2 days recovering from the migraine and headache it gave him. And he is rough, a daily coffee drinker too, so it was that friggin' strong. So that's like rough. Yeah, so that's why I just to finish up the unrelated tangent, but that's why I don't touch Death Wish since you mentioned it. But
fair enough.
All right, anyway, let's get back into the comments. Brimstone says, I have every current Rippaverse comic on order, save for the omnibus.
Thank you, Mara. Thank you sincerely. Appreciate you.
Mustafa says, ISOM 1 and 2 here. Pre-ordered all the Rippazines, the omnibus, and Horseman 2. Ripascend-wise, ordered and pre-ordered everything.
Yeah, Mustafa, he was here for ISOM 1 and 2, and then he stepped away for a bit. He had other things going on in his life, as oftentimes we do, and he came back recently and was like, all right, what's everything I need to get caught up on? And then we just see this massive order come in on the back end. We're like, oh my God. Like,
holy crap.
He actually did it. Like, the crazy son of a bitch did it. You know, like, just everything. And we were like, oh, okay. Well, thank you. God bless you, man.
Good on you, Mustafa. Good on you, brother. Foil Variant, who I believe you co-host with over on his YouTube channel.
That is my co-host, Mav Spencer, Bounding into Comics. He's the editor-in-chief over there. He's my buddy, and he is my co-host on our weekly comic book review show. Go ahead and read it.
What's going on, Spencer? Good to see you, man. And he goes, Andrew, question from the crowd. Why is Ultimate Incursion your favorite? No, I'm not. I can't even finish that myself because
I am going to physically slap you.
Spencer. I've never met you, and I'm going to reach through the camera and strangle you myself.
I will have my Great Pyrenees crap in your shoe, and then I will slap you.
All right, let's just get through this. Let's get through it. We'll push through this together. Why is Ultimate Incursion your favorite currently running series? There we go. Done.
That is. It's not. That book's awful. It has no business existing because it has zero impact on all the other Ultimate books that are going on right now.
On a show, I think it was the Talkin Shop right before or right after Kara was on, actually. I had Kevin Apollo, great guy. Go check out Kevin Apollo.
Oh, he's cool. Yeah, I've been on the show with him before.
Oh, okay. Yeah, Kevin Apollo is a good dude. I want to have him back one day, especially because he was at work when we did our show. So we got a little rushed. Hopefully I can get him back on one time when he's not working. But he was kind enough to join us while he was working, which was awesome. But anyway, on that show with Kevin Apollo, Ultimate Incursion #1 had just come out a couple of days before we did that show.
Okay.
And I, live in real time, gave my thoughts on it. And
did you read it digitally or did you have a physical copy?
Oh, no, I bought a physical copy.
Was yours screwed up?
Honestly, I was so angry I couldn't even notice. You know what? Yes, it was screwed up. The thing that was screwed up was literally the entire thing from cover to cover.
All right. Well, besides that, so like there was a massive This was driving me crazy, and Spencer and I talked about this when we did our episode of Foil Variant. But there were several pages that were completely janked in that book. They were like all of the blacks were pulled out of the coloring. And then there was a couple of pages near the end where the dialogue bubbles had no text.
Yes. Okay. Yes, I remember that, but I don't remember the part about the black being pulled out because I was seeing red the entire time. But
you know what? Fair enough.
But yes, I do remember seeing the bubbles with no text. Yeah, that was. But anyway, I had just read this because it was just when #1 came out. I shared my thoughts. Cody Ziegler can kiss my big fat white ass. I don't care. Color has nothing to do with it, but I'm just pasty, so I just like to throw that in there. But yeah, because he's awful. Denise Camp, I don't agree with him whatsoever ideologically. I gave him a little bit of a pass though, because I feel like Ziegler is kind of running the show on the script for those, because it's Miles heavy, it's Miles centric. But yeah. I took that and I never do this because comic books are art in my mind and art should be respected to an extent. I took that thing and I ripped it straight the hell in half on my show with Kevin Apollo.
The book is bad.
Yeah, it was. It did everything that we've been saying that Marvel's been doing, and everything to be like, oh well, you're just a racist. No, you are completely like cucking Peter Parker in another universe. Like they had his kid be more impressed with another Spider-Man than his own dad, who just became Spider-Man. Like,
yeah,
the fuck. But anyway,
the story was bad. It has zero impact on any of the other Ultimate books that are going on currently, and so it has no reason to exist.
Yeah, Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimates, which again, I'm getting Denise Camp. Ultimates like 5 through 9 were kind of sloppy in terms of the story and everything, but
I think what it was, they were super slow. Spencer and I talked about this a lot on our show. It was just it slowed to a crawl. The first 5 or 6 issues of Ultimates were actually really strong, like really, really strong. And then there was just this super stagnant period where we were like, man, what is going on? What happened to the book?
Yeah. And then around 10 or 11 for me, it picked back up and I was able to enjoy it again.
Yeah.
But it's Ultimate Spider-Man, Ultimates, Ultimate Wolverine, Ultimate X-Men, and then down. Even lower, you guys can't see. Ultimate Black Panther.
See, I haven't read Ultimate Black Panther. Spencer has told me don't bother. I haven't read Ultimate X-Men because while I like Peach Momoko's cover style, and some of her more pinup stuff, her art doesn't jive with me on interiors. Like Spencer loves her, like he absolutely loves her, and so he's having a blast with that book for the most part, with some gripes. Yeah. I'm enjoying Ultimate Wolverine more than he is. It's had some of those like really slow issues where it's like not really a lot happened here. What are we doing? Yeah. We don't have forever. But it's like it's
facts. 2 years tops.
Yeah. But otherwise, it's been pretty solid, and the art's beautiful. And it's a cool and interesting setting. Ultimates has been strong for the most part. Again, we just talked about that little lull period. Ultimate Spider-Man just has been a banger.
It's Hickman being Hickman is what it is, and I'm excited for it.
It's wild for me to agree with that because I'm someone who doesn't normally like Hickman's work.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, that's a conversation.
My bag, and Ultimate Spider-Man has been basically my book of the year for the last 2 years.
Well, yeah, out of the big two, absolutely 100% agreed. In terms of broader mainstream, I would throw Rook Exodus up there as well.
I would agree with that. I
Yeah.
agree with that. And I'd also put Witchblade there because I'm a big Witchblade fan and I have been for a very long time. I've got the trade there.
That's
Got the
fair.
work trade here. I've also got all the singles. That picks back up next month? I think issue 7
next
is next
month,
month.
issue number 7, and I
pretty
will
stoked for
be
that.
grabbing not just that, but I will be grabbing whatever money grabbing predatory business practice cover they convince the comic shops to buy with it.
Excellent.
But yeah, anyway, to wrap this up in a neat little bow, Ultimate Incursion, Spencer, much respect. Thank you for being here. Go to hell. Mustafa said, "Why is Barry Allen your favorite Flash?"
He's not.
Fair enough.
He's not.
Moving on.
He's not. He's my second favorite, but he's not my favorite.
Follow up by Spencer. Why do you hate Jubilee?
Because she's mid.
Fair. She was annoying in the animated series, in my opinion, but
she was. Though
yeah.
she's getting a little bit of love right now.
That's fair. I mean, even in the annoying characters, like if done properly, they can improve. And then also from Spencer, Andrew's favorite practice is getting new number ones. He doesn't like buying long.
Why is he accusing me of liking all of my peeves right now in mainstream comics? What is wrong with you, man?
Comics X Books over on X says, "Is there a locked away book or timeline somewhere that has the future of all the characters of the Rippaverse? How far into the future are characters developed?" That's an excellent question.
That is an excellent question. And I don't actually have to answer that with an NDA. I can answer that there is, and I'm not going to give you all details, but we have our universe
behind
Bible.
an NDA.
That is behind an NDA. Kanan loves Jubilee as well. I love the piece that you did of Jubilee not long ago, Kanan, that you posted on Twitter. That was amazing. But he also doesn't know how to draw a bad piece. I don't think he's physically capable of it.
That's fair.
He's just, that is like the one thing he can't do is draw a bad piece. Otherwise, he's amazing. And so we have our universe Bible, right? And in there, we list out the characters and we list out the in pretty great detail the specifics of their powers, the specifics of their weaknesses, and more often than not, a lot of that stuff isn't stuff that readers will see explicitly stated in the books. It's stuff that over time they'll have to piece together. But we do have, or at least it's more of a writer case-by-case basis where some writers will lay out a plan for where they want to take the character. And some of those writers will be pretty in depth with what they want to do.
Okay.
And where they want to take characters. Somebody like Chuck Dixon, he writes several months ahead with all of his stuff. He is quite a few more issues completed of writing characters like Horseman and Alpha Core than what's actually been announced and published.
Gotcha.
Because that's just how he operates, and he plans super far in advance. The Saskas are the same way with Yaira and with Bloodruth, where they'll plan fairly far in advance. Myself, I'm a long form storytelling guy, and I like the type of storytelling where you can be, let's say, you're in issue 25, right? And something pays off or something happens and it clicks for readers that were paying attention. They're like, wait a second, wasn't there something related to this in like issue 3? And they go back and they flip through issue 3. Then like, holy crap, like that was set up back here. Like I like the breadcrumbs. I like laying down stuff that just kind of builds over time and then has a payoff, even if it's not the explicit part of the story. I like that long form setup. And so that's the way that I am handling my character that I created for the Rippaverse, at least if I get to write more of him.
Yes.
I have a lot already planned down the line.
And we're going to be talking about that character in just a couple of minutes once I get caught up on the chat here, folks. Don't worry. But great question, Comics X Books. Andrew's wonderful work is mostly done by his foil variant co-host. That's why Andrew hangs out with me, and I'm honored. Mustafa
this
said,
guy.
Mustafa said, because this was coming through when we were talking about just kind of leadership and surrounding yourself with people that are smarter and more talented. You never want to be the best in anything in the room. He said, based, yeah, it's important to surround yourself with the right people, mutual, helping each other out, and of course, shared values. Doesn't have to be all the same values, but to some extent shared. Agreed.
Yeah.
Absolutely agreed. You
Gaining
wrong.
different perspective from other people who may see something from a different angle than you is important. That's either going to reinforce why you hold your position, or it's going to open your eyes to, oh, I didn't consider that.
Yeah, and not even necessarily a way to change your mind, but at least to like it helps you just grow in terms of at least just more perspective.
It's important to see where other people are coming from.
Yeah,
It allows
absolutely.
for a much more peaceful, organic, respectful dialogue.
And you wrong goes, I got something bigger than myself in my pants. Oh no, that's the wrong one.
You should use the bathroom.
There we go. Evil A Music, what's going on, Evil A? Hopefully
What's
I
up,
said
Everly?
that right. Oh, Evely, there we go. Evely, thank you so much for being here. Said, what's up, fellow nerds? Saw Andrew's post on X. Been watching for a bit, liked and subbed. Well, thank you so much, Evely.
Thanks for
I
being here, man. I
appreciate that.
appreciate you.
And everybody else, please, if you don't mind, hit that like, hit that sub. If you're watching on Rumble, hit that like, hit that follow. Also, everybody, please hit either the share post or the repost button, or share button or repost button. I've mixed the two. Share post, put it into one. Cross-platforming here. But definitely hit the share, hit the repost as well. Let people know what we're doing over here between just me and Andrew hanging out and talking, just on the channel as a whole as well. But thank you so much for being here. I appreciate it. And then more chats came in all after those because I am way behind. There we go. TMNT is getting in on blind bags. No, I don't want anything to do with TMNT right now.
I refuse to support the blind bag mechanism for comic books. I won't do it.
I agree like 99% with you. Just for the new Batman #1, I did just to roll the dice, see what happened. I decided to grab one.
Foil one.
Yeah, really just to do a little bit of gambling. That's about it. But I mean, the cover, it's still a cool cover. I can't pronounce the dude's name for the variant it is, but I mean, it's the foil versions are cool, and also I like that I like that they're a little more sturdy than the regular floppies. Which, in my opinion, makes comic books worth actually $5 at that point if they have more sturdy covers. But comic books need to be going back down to $2, in my opinion, in mainstream. But let's see what else we got going on here. I'm like, what the fuck? When Eric gave us that discount, this is about the whole editing and everybody makes mistakes, going blind, all that stuff.
Yeah, it was a printer misprint. Issue.
Yeah. I'm over here thinking 5:30 is early. Yeah, 5:30 is my start time. And then there's Caden, which here we go. Let's do this. I found that piece that you were talking about. Yeah, I found his Jubilee.
Great, right? That's
yeah. That's I'm not the biggest X-Men fan, and especially not the biggest Jubilee fan, but I might be a fan. I might be a fan if Kanan does more Jubilee work.
I'm a fan of anything Kanan does.
That's true.
If Kanan's doing it, I'm a fan of it.
All right, so you know what? There's just the Lions, which looks awesome and fantastic in and of itself. I loved seeing this because I just did. I went scrolling.
That's my favorite X-Men right there.
Same, Kurt. Agreed. Same.
Kurt's my favorite.
I knew we could be
followed
friends.
by Emma.
But yeah, once you said that, I started scrolling looking for the Jubilee piece, and I was like, wait, I have to bring this one up. Just like I have to bring this one up. This Batman piece.
Oh yeah.
Wait, why did I see this one on Kanan's? Oh, because he reposted it.
He was probably retweeting it, yeah.
Yeah. But no, the Nightcrawler piece though is chef's kiss. Like I said, Nightcrawler, like you, Nightcrawler's my favorite X-Men character. So but thank you so much, Kanan, for being here, man. But he says Rippa fans are the best fans in the world, and Andrew is pretty swell too, I guess.
Thanks, Kanan. I appreciate you, brother.
Incursion #4 confirms Miles has been there for months. Figure it out. Well, yeah, that just makes sense because of how what is it? I'm not gonna give a big gripe about, but also I haven't read anything past one, so I wouldn't know. But it just falls in line with the template of the format that Jonathan Hickman set in place of just every issue a month goes by in between issues. So that I got no gripe with that. Ultimate Fantastic Four was was fun.
Back in the 2000s.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I had to think about that for a second. I was like, wait a minute, we're not having. Oh, the old one. Yeah. There we go. Rook is the best book out there. Geiger close second. Ultimate Spider-Man needs to be the main continuity. 100%. I've been preaching that for even before I started the channel.
Yeah.
You hate Jubs, love Jubilee. I don't hate her. Just like you said in the end.
I think he
series,
was reacting to me.
Oh, fair enough. Lavisha says breadcrumb stories are the best in comics when done correctly. See ComixDad episode number 23. I don't have 23 episodes. But thanks for
say, isn't this in episode 15 or something like that?
Indeed it is.
Are you from the future?
I might be. I might be. Who knows at this point? And Basket City's here. Says, "Hail ComixDad." What's going on, Basket City? How are you, man? And then Era Fate, welcome back. But yeah, man. Okay, cool. Caught up on the chat now. Yes, agreed. Just and okay. So I know I want to get into talking about Blue Shift and your character in Rippaverse number 5, but I got to address this. I said this myself on I think it was discussing film post, because they posted, so even though they're talking about film, they posted something about Miles Morales comic. And I said this just because I had it was about Ultimate Incursion, actually. And I was just so sick of Ultimate Incursion and people talking it up and everything that I just put this in there. And oh boy, the amount of, oh, you're an ist and you're a that and you're a, just like, you know what? Whatever, guys. But yeah, so you really want to piss off the people that have ruined comics? Just drop this in a thread or drop this in a chat or something like that, and just walk away.
Say that. I
walk away.
I just say throw out all of them that aren't Peter Parker.
Yeah, but that's a mouthful, though.
And when they say, well, you just don't like black people, and like Ben Reilly isn't black, Kane isn't black,
yeah,
Spider-Gwen isn't black. Okay, so
fair.
Miguel is Hispanic, so am I. Like, my last name's Rodriguez. I don't care. Throw out all of them. I don't want any of them.
That's fair.
So I will accept one and one alone, and that's Annie Mae or Mayday Parker. That's it. That's the only one you get from me.
Do I have to? Do you have to make me say it? One more day.
I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to talk about one more day.
One more day.
You get Peter's offspring, and that's all you get from me.
That's fair. I can 100% get on board with that. But anyway, let's get into the other awesome thing that you got going on with the Rippaverse, which is obviously, like I said, Rippaverse number 5, which I have pulled up right here. There's your character. So your character, so the superhero name is Blue Shift, correct? And then the actual character's name is Zephyr.
Zephyr Arland, yeah,
cool.
And
just wanted to make sure I had it right.
I'm looking forward to one of my favorite members, and it's hard for me to say because I love all the people in our community and our fan base. But Weapon X or Ginger Wolverine, awesome dude. He's been doing this video series on his YouTube. You guys should check it out. Where he does it's a name breakdown of characters in the Rippaverse, where he goes into the meanings or potential meanings behind characters' names. And I'm really looking forward to him diving into some of the characters that I've created, because I'm one of those people. There are two types of people when it comes to name creation in writing.
Mm-hmm.
There's the type of person where they're writing and they're like, I need a name for this. And they look at the table that they're on. They're like, Tabletta Brown. There it is. Right. I'm not even kidding. Taro will do that. And she'll tell you that. She'll be like, sometimes I don't really want to think about it much. And I'll be like, here's the name. And she'll tweak it and make it like look cool and sound cool, because all the characters, her Dirty Deeds characters is one of my favorite Rippaverse right now. I love that story. And I constantly hound her for more.
Hashtag more Dirty Deeds.
Hashtag more dirty deeds. That's
Come
what I
on,
like
Eric.
to hear.
Come
Dirty
on, Eric.
deeds
I know you're not
disciples in the
watching,
chat.
but come on, Eric.
I'm the type of person where I will look into like, okay, I know that this person that I'm creating is of this lineage, this nationality, this kind of heritage in their blood. What words within and names within the further back of that culture's language can I pull from, and like what can I do here to make stuff that's like kind of just on the nose for it to have meaning that's both um emblematic of maybe their powers, or maybe it's their personality, or maybe it's something to do with their heart. Like I love figuring that kind of stuff out. There are a lot of people, and I can't honestly blame them, where they're like, I don't want to spend that much time on the name, man. Like I don't I want to do that. And I can't blame them for that.
Yeah.
I'm that guy though, that I do want to do that, and I actually enjoy doing that. So I put a lot of time into specifically the names of the characters that I create, because I think that's a lot of fun for me. Because
So
part of the fun of comics is like, for me, the on the nose stuff, where
Mhm.
it's like that character's name clearly has something to do with either their powers or their persona or whatever it is. Like, that's fun to me. Like
Yeah.
that's why I love this stuff.
Yeah, see, I part of the reason why I laughed when you said that sometimes people just look around and make up a name. The reason why I laughed is because I'm one of those people when I'm playing tabletop RPGs.
Yeah.
So that's why I laughed. I was like, "Oh dang, he got me."
And most of the people that I played D&D with up through college were exactly like that.
Yeah, it's I can't make up a name, but yet for the life of me, when I'm DMing, I can think of a random ass NPC that they'll never think of or ever talk to again. I can think of an entire character history for them like that, but I can't think of a damn name. Go figure. But
Yeah.
so it's actually because you were saying about, like, especially how does the name relate to the character, who they are, their powers, and of the sort. You were sharing with me before we started the show just a little bit that there is actually a scientific reason behind this character's superhero name, which is Blue Shift. Would you mind enlightening us with and
Yeah, so
dropping some knowledge on us as we go to back to science class with you?
So, without getting too much into the weeds of the science, essentially, blue shift is a scientific term that relates to um, how things look on the visible light spectrum with regards to how fast they're moving. It deals a lot. Getting into the weeds would deal with talking a lot about wavelengths and things like that. That's not so much important here. What you need to know is that when something moves closer to the speed of light, we would say that that shifts blue on the visible light spectrum. And so that was something that I really wanted to play with, because that allows me to do a couple of things. That puts more meaning behind that title, in that he's becoming more and more the hero that he is meant to be or wants to be. The faster that he gets, the stronger that he gets, because then he's shifting blue further, right? So
Mhm.
there's something innate there with like the hero mentality of always wanting to do better and be better. But that also allows me to play around a lot with the colors, because blue shifting means that doesn't necessarily mean that everything about the character is blue. There have been a couple of different images shown of the character, and the energy around him doesn't always look blue. There's some teal. There's some other stuff going on, and that's deliberate. That's intentional. That's not like a mess up on the colorist part. That's He's going to, like, his energy will shift blue on the visible light spectrum the stronger that he gets, or the faster that he's going at that point, that moment. Um, and that's fun stuff to play with for me. I like having that kind of creative freedom. And so that's why I really went with that name.
That's cool, man. Yeah, I understand the science of it. I just That's not something I ever would have thought of. Well, again, also coming from a guy that Olerek Akbla, just example. So coming from a guy that's my naming philosophy. But no, that's a really different way of approaching of looking at just kind of that name in particular, but also just now that you went into it, I understand even more. Kind of, you were talking about how just your naming technique and your naming
Mhm.
philosophy for a character too. So very very interesting, and we got a science lesson out of it as well, which is I did not know that about blue shifting or anything about that. I just like I kind of like as you were saying it, I was like, oh yeah, that kind of makes sense. I kind of understand what he's talking about. And then as you kept going on, I was like, wait, what?
Yeah.
But no, it's that's really cool though, man. And then I guess so we kind of went backwards a little, or went reverse order a little bit. So we talked about the name. Now obviously you were said at the beginning of the show that you love the Flash, you love Sonic the Hedgehog, big impacts on your life in terms of your history with comics and everything, and your fandom. So clearly there is a speedster theme here for, well, obviously the speedster. So that's definitely part of the inspiration. But can you just go a little more deep into, I guess, what inspired you to just make this character? And outside of the Flash and Sonic, are there maybe some other elements behind the backstory of how you came to decide not just the superhero part of this character, but the character as a person as well, the personal side of the
Yeah,
character?
absolutely. There are quite a few actually that have nothing to do with the Flash or Sonic.
Yeah,
Um,
no, for sure.
and
I assumed, but like you, just because you mentioned him at the beginning of the show, I was like, okay, cool. He's clearly into speedsters, and that makes sense. There's
oh
got to
yeah,
be more to the character. I know there is.
it's absolutely my favorite archetype in terms of the superhero, like the superpower and all that.
They're
Like,
always fun.
yeah, it's well, they're also dangerous if you don't like be really careful and deliberate in your writing and your power scaling and things like that in your
Hmm.
universe. You can break your universe real quick
That's
if
true.
you are not careful. And that's something that I'm being very deliberate about, and how I'm handling, because I have no interest in breaking our universe. I actually want our universe to remain really strong on a power scaling aspect
Hmm.
for a very long time to come.
Well,
There's
that and
plenty of time, God willing, for characters to get a lot more powerful as we continue down the road, but they don't need to start up
yeah.
here. They can start down here and grow there over time. That's part of the character arc. That's part of the development. It's
Oh
part of
yeah,
the fun.
it's
A lot
key.
of people, yeah, a lot of people, and it's understandable because we have other publishers like Marvel and DC who've been around for almost a century in some cases, right? In some
Hmm.
shape or form. And so their universes look like one thing right now, right? And a lot of times there's a temptation to really want to make your universe look exactly like that right away, right? Just with your characters. It's like, you know how many years they had to build up to that? And even they effed up. They broke their universe with their power scaling. Now they're having
Hmm.
reset or soft reset events all the time and having stuff happens that don't matter,
Yeah.
or like having arcs that completely ignore certain parts of characters' well-known power sets because they're like, "Wow, I couldn't write this story if this character could do this thing. Even though they can do this thing, I'm gonna have to pretend like they can't do that thing, otherwise my story doesn't work."
Yeah.
Right? And
Well,
and you lose a lot of the storytelling there. You lose a lot of the stakes.
and they also broke the universe because we all know what they've been doing as well over the last several years, over the last decade. So,
Yeah. Yeah,
but
there's a lot of that
power
too.
scaling is a big part of it, though, for sure.
Absolutely.
And I was also going to say, yeah, you definitely don't want to break the universe that you're playing around in because it's not just you have to answer to on that. I'm sure everybody
No,
else, Jed and Sylvie, Caro, Eric,
absolutely.
everybody over there, everybody that contributes from both a writing and art perspective will probably be like, Andrew, the hell did you do? Just go read Spider-Man Incursion and leave us
Yeah.
alone.
Oh gosh, no. Come on, man.
I
That
had
ain't
to. I
right.
had to. I had to
That
do
ain't
it.
right. Uh
But
But yes,
anyway,
so there was a lot of inspiration behind the character, both visually and as a person. So as a person, he is the two primary bits of his DNA are Sonic and Peter Parker. However, there's a little bit in between where I wanted someone who was just a very gentle soul at their heart. Because my favorite type of character, type of person when it comes to superheroes is the hero that has a heart of gold, the hero who truly wants to do what's right not because it's of any benefit to them. Um, but you can have that at the same time. That doesn't necessarily mean they're going to always make the right decision. Sometimes they could have that best of intentions thing that they think they're doing the right thing, like sincerely do. But what they're doing is either not the right way to go about it or they goofed along the way, whatever that looks like. There's a lot of fun to be had there, I think, with a character who genuinely wants to do what's right, but they still goof up because I mean
Hmm.
he's a teenager. In this short, he is a younger teen. I plan on having him older in the main stories if I get the ability to move forward with those. They're already written.
Keyword
Um,
there, people. If remember, he's got an
if you
NDA.
you have to, well, what people have to do is
No,
they got to buy the book
no, I
and they
know.
got to tell us that
Just
they got
making
to
my
actually
jokes.
tell us that they actually liked the
Yeah.
stories. So they have to tell us, hey, we want more of this Zephyr kid, or tell me like go back to just writing your pigeon comic strip, man. Like you're not cut out for this. Like, whatever that looks like, people have to let us know when
Yeah.
we send out the surveys for the feedback on the zine, and then we'll make decisions, or
Yeah.
Eric will make decisions based on
Hmm.
that.
Or you could
Um,
just publish it through Andrew's Pad Publishing.
yeah, sure, sure. I don't quite have that much pull or infrastructure set up. I think I'd be better off, at least in this instance, um, trying to move forward with the Rippaverse.
Yeah. I don't know, man. That name got it's catchy. It's catchy. No, just kidding. But and then I think the kind of like what you were saying in terms of there's that room for um wanting to do the right thing, but maybe going about it in either the wrong way or in a way that maybe is ill advised, or just uh, just maybe goofing up along the way in terms of trying to reach that ultimate goal of being the hero, doing the right thing. I feel
Mhm.
like making the decision of making this a younger character, at least to start, is definitely, it definitely plays into that. I mean, we haven't even read the short yet, but I mean, just by you going off of that, like that obviously was the right call, because I mean, we were all teenagers. We all thought we had the best of intentions most of the time, and we would try to do the best we could, but little did we know we goofed and we messed up, and there was probably a lot better,
They're
either
fallible.
better or easier way to go about accomplishing what we were trying to do. So
Absolutely.
uh,
Absolutely.
so you were saying with so moving forward, if this does well and people receive it well, and everything, now obviously without giving too much away in terms of your plans, but just like kind of what, I guess, to give something people. All right, let me rewind. I guess what can you say initially to get people, or not to get people, but to at least have people be a little bit curious to go pick up Ripazine number 5, something they can look forward to in this was it 16-page excerpt?
16-page short story. Yeah.
Yeah, 16-page short story that's going to be at Ripazine number 5. What can you say just in terms of about that to at least give people a little bit of incentive to go and pick up Ripazine number 5, to at least to read this, because I know there's also different things in Ripazines as well that for people to look forward to, but specifically this, the short stories are the things that I look forward to in the Ripazines. But I'm already sold on wanting to
Well, thank you.
read more about this.
Thank
But outside of me, let everybody else know, I guess, if you could just give them one thing to look forward to kind of give them that push, be like, hey, go check out Ripazine number 5. Go check out this awesome character I created.
The Blue Shift Trials short story gives a new, unique, as of yet unseen perspective look at our universe. What does it look like for a young kid who exists in not just this world, but even a city that is populated pretty highly by beings with superpowers? And what does that look like when he has superpowers of his own and he just wants to be a normal kid? Because a lot of times, that's kind of all we wanted when we were teenagers, right? We just kind of wanted to fit in. We wanted to do like what was like, okay, m- doing sports. Okay, maybe I'll do that to try and fit in, or maybe I'll try this other thing over here to fit in. Zephyr Ireland really just wants to be a normal kid. This is actually the first time he's being allowed to go to a normal school because of his family's secret. And
Okay.
this is his first day at a normal school, and that's going to come with a lot of hurdles. That's going to come with a lot of speed bumps, and it's going to come with a lot of unique perspective. Yeah, that was all deliberate. It was all deliberate. I don't have an off switch for that.
No, keep that on.
It's gonna give a really unique perspective at the city of Flores Park, at least this pocket of it. And my hope, and what I think I accomplished, is that people will be able to latch on to either Zephyr or him and other characters that I introduce in the story and find something that they connect with because they're like, oh gosh, yeah, I remember crap like that in high school. Or I'm in crap like that in high school, even, you know, if we
Yeah.
got some younger readers, right? Like I'd love to draw in that audience. Um, and there's a little tease right at the end of what's potentially to come.
Ooh.
I won't say anything more than that regarding that, but the last page is specifically a teaser.
I'll give the spoiler. It turns out his dad is ComixDad.
Not quite. Not quite.
Dang it.
Not
That was gonna be my in. Damn. But no, that's awesome. That's got me excited. Well, I mean, I was like I was excited. I like checking out new, especially superheroes, new superhero characters, and there's always a different way to do kind of like the stereotypical superhero archetypes in terms of the types of heroes they are. So I'm always interested in, like, prime example, your character is a speedster. I'm always interested and curious to see how people take on the approach of a speedster in this instance, or like a street level a justice type of character, like with Punisher, and like with Mark Miller and John Romita Jr.'s book coming out that they had crowdfunded recently on Kickstarter. So like just creators, writers taking on those kind of, I don't want to say tried and true, but like those more well-known hero archetypes that everybody knows and loves. I like seeing people take those on as a challenge to see what they could do differently with it. So I'm definitely excited to see what you got going on. And then also not just you, but also your man Edu, am I saying his name correctly? Edu Souza, who,
he's fantastic.
Yeah, he did your concept art, but he also did the actual art for the 16-page short story as well.
So
correct?
he didn't do the concept art.
Oh, he didn't do the concept art. I thought he did.
No,
I apologize.
He's just the
for that.
interior artist. He didn't do the concept art. He does have a couple of concept pieces that were just him adapting the concept design into his style, so that we'd have an idea of what it would look like in his style. But he was not the original. I'm actually technically, at least for the super suit, for Zephyr's like normal casual look and all of that, and just about everybody else, that was all our awesome Marcos Rios at the Rippaverse. However, there exists an Andrew sketch, which is the actual original concept that then got refined a little bit by actually Kanan in the chat.
Don't mind me
tweak that.
Like I said earlier, biggest retarded shit show on professional shit show on the internet. So, but no, Edu is because this is right out of it, I'm assuming, correct?
Mm-hmm. Correct. And that is a panel from that.
Now, is this one as well?
That is also Edu.
All right, so then there we go. I have something to look forward to, and this is wonderful work by him as well. I love it. I like I just like the little swishies. Also, just the little as like dumb as it sounds, I like the little swishies to portray action and movement. Like, because you could seriously screw that up if you don't do it the right way. So I like how he just did those to portray, speed, running fast, very fast. So it's little tiny things like that with the with interior art that I like to get. I don't like to, but just that I notice and I appreciate. So but between the two of you guys, I'm definitely looking forward to this myself and Ripazine number 5. Everybody go check out Ripazine number 5 on Rippaverse.com. Here it is here.
That poster.
That's the poster. Yeah. I was like, wait, I pulled this
Kanan
up.
And my favorite comic book colorist, Andrew Dollhouse.
Oh, there it is right there. Oh, that poster is bitching also, I gotta say. Like, these are
I
all...
can't wait to have that sucker up on my wall.
Yeah, that's gonna be cool. I mean, I personally, if I were to get it, I wouldn't have anywhere to put it because we already have a bunch of art from like conventions and stuff from like the
Oh
last
yeah,
3 years that we still haven't hung up. or
I know
else,
that life.
or else I'd be like, yeah, I'm getting this poster. But I am, yeah, absolutely though. Everybody go pick up Zippa. Holy crap, I'm tired, man. Ripazine #5. This is the standard. But then also you got the collector's edition, which I'm not. I'm not gonna lie. I don't normally pick up the collector's editions of this stuff because, like, I want
Fair
to
enough.
grab it. I want to read it, and it's
Nothing wrong
not
with that.
even, and it's more just because of like also like I more times than not I'm strapped for cash as well. I would love to grab the
There's
other
nothing
ones.
wrong with that.
I would love to grab the other ones, but it's just a matter of not being able to more than anything else.
No hard feelings there, man.
Yeah, man. But everybody go check that out. Where do we got? I had you pulled up. Where are you? There we go. So not only do you have... where'd it go? So not only do you help out with Rippaverse stuff and everything. This is your page here, your website, which everybody, I have links to the Rippaverse and also to Andrew's X account and Andrew's page here, web page here that we have pulled up. But also you have your own YouTube page, my man.
I do. I don't do much with it aside from
Oh,
just streaming on Sundays.
and subscribed.
Oh well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I didn't realize.
Um,
Oh, I thought I was already. That's why I was like, oh wait, hold on, I'm not subscribed.
No biggie. Literally, all I do with my YouTube channel is every Sunday. It's one of the channels and platforms that I multi-stream to when I do my Sunday community night streams in my Discord.
Oh,
So
nice.
me and a bunch of guys, we've been gaming for the last several years. We'll stream Mario Kart or Mario Kart and Mario Party. We were doing some Smash Brothers up until just a couple of months ago. Um, and it's just a good fun time to just kind of like chill at the end of the weekend right before going into the work week,
Oh,
you
for
know?
sure, dude. For sure. Yeah, I with the having the job and the ungodly wake up time now, like my gaming streams are all but gone at this point. But we were my wife with her channels, we might be doing some more community nights ourselves, and
Mm,
once I get used to my adjusted sleep schedule,
right
probably
on.
on Saturdays moving forward. But yeah, the community nights are always really fun. I appreciate not just when we do them, but like when yourself and other people do them as well, because sometimes it's just fun to get in and be like, oh hey, cool, I can play with this dude that I watch. And that's like, I've always liked the concept of that, and I really appreciate the channels and the people that do it. So that's cool that you do that, man. But yeah, everybody go subscribe to Andrew Caffeinated Wolf on YouTube. But more importantly, like I was saying before, Ripazine #5. Ripazine #5. Ripazine #5. you
Ripazine
gotta,
#5,
you,
just in case you guys missed that.
well, you got to say things 3 times. Everything in threes, because that's how you get things really seeped into the memory. That's how it gets. I forget who taught it to me a long time ago, but like there's an actual psychology behind repeating things 3 times, not just
Mhm.
to get a point across, but also it's about just subconscious memory. Um, so that's I have a tendency to just something that I want, whether it's my kids or friends or people at work or whatever to remember, I will maybe not in one go, but I will end up repeating whatever that thing is 3 times over the course of either whether it's a sentence or just a conversation. Just because it's just that was ingrained in me. I forget who taught that to me and ingrained it to me, but I remember that they ingrained it to me because they must have said it 3 times. But yeah, man, it's let's see. So we've got, I'm just looking through the chat real quick first. I got a couple more here. Levistra said Peter Parker is Spider-Man and Miles Morales is not even on Ben Riley's level. Damn. What about Silk? No, no,
No,
just no.
no. Silk actually has potentially the dumbest origin.
That's fair. Brimstone said, "Come on, man! I had enough trauma this week, and you bring up one more day." I had to. Silk has her own moniker. She is a spider being with her own name. Yeah, No, that's and at least that's why I can't. That's why I can't talk too much crap about Silk. But just in terms of because at least they tried to give her own moniker and everything. But still, I agree with Andrew in terms of this. There's enough spider people. There's too many spider people. We just need Peter. That's
Yep.
it. And then Mustafa said the twist is, of course, that someone close to him is his biggest enemy.
NDA.
There it is. And now I feel like this has been a successful stream. But Andrew, brother, I did have a couple of things bookmarked, just for kind of little closing out the show kind of topics and everything. But I've had so much fun with you, man, and it's been such a good time that unfortunately a lot of stuff I have off to the side here is like kind of not necessarily doom and gloom, but definitely a kind of a little more heated type of stuff and a little spicy and everything. And we don't need to end the show like that, man. This has been awesome as it is. So
This has been a great time,
I
man.
want to keep the mood up going into the weekend. So, so Andrew, brother, thank you so much, man, for coming here. I appreciate it. And you're more than
Thank
welcome
you.
back on the channel at any time.
I'd be happy to come back. Shoot, if you want to talk to me after you've read Blue Shift Tryouts and let me know your thoughts directly to my face and be like, dude, why did you write this and why did Eric let you print it? Please go back to writing pigeons that make silly jokes.
Why did you not make his father ComixDad? That was your big miss right there. No, just but yeah, man, no, we can do that absolutely. But also, just if you ever just want to come back and hang out and chill and BS and talk comics and everything,
Be happy to.
I know you said you do your community gaming night on Sundays, but if there's ever a Sunday that you're free, I have my show called The Pull List, where I go over just weekly comics coming up in the week, basically, just kind of giving my thoughts on some things that are on, well, my pull list, and give some recommendations on what to buy and what to potentially avoid, which last week there was a particular title that I highly advised people to avoid, and it turned out to be a very good call given events this week.
Indeed.
Right here, folks, your boy ComixDad called that one. I'm just saying. Red Hood #1. I'll leave it there. I'm not getting into it. But yeah, man. So if you ever just want to come on and BS on a Sunday night, I do that show pretty much every Sunday night. I've been playing around with the concept of maybe having some people join me for that, for some conversation anyway here and there. So you're more than welcome back for that, or even if you just want to come back for another Talkin Shop, we can talk more comics and other stuff. And it doesn't even have to be anything new that you got going on with Rippaverse or anything either, man. It's just if you just want to wax poetic more about your community gaming nights or your pigeon stories, whichever, dude. But yeah,
who knows? Depending on how y'all receive Blue Shift Tryouts, that might be the only thing that I write.
Or that could be in Ripazine #6. Just saying. But yeah, man. And then on our way out, do you have anything else? Do you want to just say to the chat real quick, as a little goodbye, or anything else besides Ripazine #5 that you want to maybe get out there and plug? I know there's some other stuff that's been announced recently with Rippaverse as well.
Yeah, tonight is the closeout for Norfolk Glorious Death #1. So a lot of people pretty hotly anticipating that series, that mini series. Pre-orders close tonight at 11 p.m. Central, so that's midnight Eastern time. So that's what, 2 hours 40 minutes, give or take a couple minutes. So check that out. We got a lot of cool stuff going on there. That thing has been a massive success. We've got the ISOM Definitive Edition Omnibus Volume 1, which is just the entire ill-advised art collected in either a soft or hardcover volume, your choice. We just launched the Yaira version of that as well, which is the first 3 issues of Yaira. That first art collected in softcover and hardcover. They're oversized as well. I believe they are, if I'm remembering correctly, they're the same sizes as our Trinity Omnibus that we did, which collected ISOM 1, Yaira 1, and Alpha Core 1. So they're nice and big, which is cool. It makes them great for reading, great for a coffee table piece, right? To have friends come over and, oh, what's that? I'll check it out, man. There's some freaking comics. Read them. It's good for you. And and then on top of that,
that's the books that they need to give us in school. Not Catcher in the Rye, not The Great Gatsby, not Gulliver's Travels. Just comic books. Spider-Man, Detective Comics, Action Comics.
I doubt they give Gatsby and Gulliver's Travels anymore, honestly. But we also have our McFarlane ISOM action figure. It's in a 7-inch line. What am I forgetting? I'm probably forgetting something because we have so many active collections right now, and there will be more soon, I'm sure. But please check all those out. Thank you sincerely to everybody that's taken a chance on Ripazine #5. I'm a nobody. I'm a no name. This is my debut short story. I want to be a storyteller. I hope people think that I'm a storyteller after they read my short story. You guys will have to let me know. But either whether you love it or you hate it and you tell me to go back to writing pigeon strips, thank you for taking a chance on it. Sincerely, it's done very, very well so far. Eric is very happy with its performance. It just crossed, it crossed 50K, I believe, overnight. It
Oh,
jumped
wow.
up, it jumped up several $100s, and then it jumped up a few hundred more over the course of the day. So thank you guys
That's
so much.
awesome.
And that does mean, because it crossed 50K, that at some point very, very soon, I am going to release the promised first part of the Andrew sketch. So what I'll do is
Ooh.
I'll show off. I'm thinking about maybe doing it on a video or something. I haven't decided fully yet, but I'll show off what the early head sketch was when I was still trying to work out Zephyr's super suit, and I was trying to figure out, okay, what are the must haves, and okay, this is going to be my baseline. This is going to be my starting point, and then it evolved from there. So what you see with that head sketch will not be what the final design was, because that's what I worked off of to say, okay, this is the baseline. Now, how do I want to evolve it further and make it more distinct and do some other cool stuff with it? That will be the full Andrew sketch. We got to make a little bit more on the Ripazine 5 pre-order collection to release that thing. But regardless, thank you so much for getting it this far. Fans are amazing. Thank you to everybody at the Rippaverse who supported me in this. Thank you to all the fans who supported me. Thank you, ComixDad, for having me on.
Of course,
Man,
brother.
it was
Hey,
very kind of you.
it's again, it's my pleasure. You're more than welcome back. You are a gentleman and definitely a scholar with your naming technique for this for your
Don't go
character.
spreading lies.
And more of a scholar than me, probably. I'm this many. That's about the extent of my education. But no, man, and everybody remember Ripazine #5, Ripazine #5, Ripazine #5. Everything in threes. And on the way out, Snooty Mims with the $10 over on Rumble. So great stream. God bless the comics family. Snooty Mims, brother. As always, you are a generous man, and thank you so much for supporting both myself and my channel, and my wife and her channel, and just helping us through the dark times the last few months, and with your generosity. Although you may think it's not much, man, every single penny went towards whether it was helping pay a bill or helping get stuff for the kids for the school year, between you and everybody else that had donated, and whether it's Rumble rants, subscriptions, directly to the various other methods we have set up for options. It's always appreciated, man. Never asked for, but always appreciated. So Snooty Mims, this one's for you, and then we'll hit the outro. Bully McGuire. There we go. And then there was one more comment. Mustafa said, "Thank you. It's been great watching. It's a nice distraction from world troubles of recent things. Can't wait to read Ripazine 5. Please be sure to stream together after ComixDad reads it." You got it, Mustafa. Just for you, man. We'll make sure to make it happen. At least, so long as Andrew's not ashamed of being on here.
Not at all. I had a blast.
Good, man. I'm glad to hear, brother. And also, everybody, remember, like you said, Ripazine #5. Check out Rippaverse. Go this Sunday. I will be live with a new episode of The Pull List. Plenty of stuff to talk about on there, where I'm going to be talking about upcoming new comic books for the week, because every Wednesday is new comic book day at your local comic shop. But also, I'll be talking some comic book related news as well, especially some pretty spicy comic book related news based off the last couple of days. So definitely come by on Sunday for that. Go check out Queen Comics Wife's channels on YouTube and on Rumble. She just hangs out, plays games, chills with the chat, talks about life and family, and just whatever you guys want to talk about in the chat. So hop into her chat, say hi, and literally start talking about whatever, and she'll talk with you guys. And then the last thing is also, remember, hashtag ComixDad is Blue Shift Dad. No, but in all seriousness, thank you, everybody. as always, be good to yourselves, be good to each other, support your local comic shops, support independent comic creators, and support small creators like myself, Queen Comics Wife, and so many other friends of the channel. But have a good night, everybody. I'll see you next time.
God bless him.